Hey everybody, Dog8798 here. This is my salute of the 80s cartoon Saber Rider and the Star Sheriff, which of course is an adaptation of the Japanese anime Saijushi Bismarck, aka Star Musketeer Bismarck. I first heard about Saber Rider in the mid 2000s, but for some odd reason I just never decided to watch the show until now. Since it was available for free on Hulu, which is where I was watching another 80s cartoon slash anime called Galaxy Rangers. I decided to since the show was there, all episodes were there for free. I decided to give this show a shot. I've always wanted to watch this show, but like I said, I just never took the time to. But since it was available on Hulu, I decided to give it a shot. And boy, was this show awesome. This show, of course, is another action Sentai mecha type show, just like Gotcha Man and Voltron, which of course, just like Voltron, this show is from the same creators, WEP, World Event Productions. As you may know, this show, just like Voltron and Gotcha Man, this show was created back in the days of when you had adaptations. This is back in the days when you had adaptations, where instead of straight dubs, where you're taking the same story from the anime and just adapting it into English with English voice actors. Shows like Gotcha Man, Voltron, and Saber Rider, and even live action shows such as the Power Ranger and Kamen Rider shows, these shows did adaptations where you take the special effects or animation and you rewrite and create an entirely different story from the original story, thus making Saber Rider and shows that I just described a completely different show. Saber Rider and the Star Sheriff, like I said before, is another action anime, is another action Sentai mecha type anime, except this one is different. This is some futuristic westerner similar to the Filmation cartoon Brave Star, which I'm going to talk about, and the French animated cartoon The Galaxy Rangers, which I'm also gonna talk to. The show is about four characters who you can see right here. April Eagle, the woman who her father owns a frontier with a bunch of cadets, called the Star Sheriffs. She is her April Eagle, and the three characters you see right here in the picture here. Fireball, the guy in the front, Colt, the guy, the cowboy you see right here, and the legend and the title character himself, Saber Rider, protect the new frontier from a evil group of baddies called the Outriders, who of course are from the Outriders, who are led by a mysterious cyborg figure named Nemesis, who is voiced by Peter Cullen, who of course everyone knows is the voice of Optimus Prime in most of the versions of the Transformers. The Outriders have the ability. The Outriders are from a dying world called the Vapor World, called the Vapor Zone. They have the ability to jump dimensions. So throughout the series they constantly invade this dimension in an attempt to use it, because of course like I said, they're from a dying world due to all the dimension jumping. Like I said, Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs, who have the ability to turn into, who have the ability, just like Voltron, to turn into these costume metallic figures, protect the new frontier from the Outriders. There are a lot of I'm gonna talk about the bad guys. There are a lot of Outriders in the show, but the main antagonists are Gatler, who of course wears some kind of mask. Vanquo, a ghostly outrider, according to Wikipedia, a ghostly outrider with vacant eyes and a long pale face. And then there's my favorite character besides Gatler and Nemesis, Jesse Blue, who in the original who was originally a Star Sheriff, but he tried to flirt with April, and April body slammed him. So he tried to kill the Saber rider with a bomb. But he accidentally put it on April's ship and nearly killed her. So in the end, he got expelled from the cadets and became a fugitive and betrayed the Star Sheriffs to join the Outriders. Like I said, as always with cartoons like this, I would have watched the Japanese version first, but I saw the Japanese version on here, and I'm gonna still do that later. But I chose not to watch it because the subs, they didn't have any subs. It was just Japanese. They didn't have any subtitles, and I'm a huge 80s cartoon enthusiast, so I don't mind watching the edited censored versions, censored adaptations of shows. Like I said, the voice acting is great. The most popular voice actor in this show is of course Peter Cullen, who is the narrator. He's also Commander Eagle, April's father. He's also Nemesis, and he also voices the robot. Yeah, like I said, each character also has a vehicle that can form a giant robot, just like Voltron, called Ramrod. You also have other awesome voice actors like Rob Paulson, who I've heard of, who voices Saber Rider, the main character, and he also voices one of the antagonists, Jesse Blue. You have Pat Fraley as Fireball, and you have Pat Musick as April, and you have Townsend Coleman as Colt. As Colt. Cam Clark also has a voice. In here too. But that's all the actors. That's all. Peter Cullen, like I said, was the only actor I'm familiar with from this cartoon. But the voice acting, as always, in American and 80s cartoons is awesome. The animation is superb. The artwork is beautiful. The action sequences are well choreographed. Of course, well, since this is a censored version, in this show, whenever the main characters shoot an outrider, the instead of dying like in the Japanese versions, the outriders instead get sent back to their alternate dimensions. There's also, like I said, since this is an adaptation and not a straight dub, there are also lots of differences in the storyline, such as the guy with the yellow hair being Saber Rider, being the main character, being the leader, where in the original version, the guy you see right here in the red, Fireball, was the leader, and he had a romance with April, which of course is not present in the English version of this in the English adaptation of this cartoon. But my opinion, one of the best things. Okay, now the final thing about this cartoon. The best thing about this cartoon is its theme song, Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. Can you feel the thunder inside? Saber Rider, let the lightning crack as you ride. The song is awesome. when you hear this song, you wanna do anything. You feel like a god. You wanna go out on an adventure and save someone. This theme song is epic and entertaining. I find myself hitting the replay button every time I watch an episode or just listening to the song here on YouTube. But man, this is another awesome cartoon. I'll review the Japanese version later. Alright, Dog, a 7 on 8 out.